Good morning, CSL Davis. My name is Rev.Mignonne Pollard. And this day, I have the pleasure to introduce to you the month's theme, which is simply the theme, the body. All month long, we'll be raising our consciousness to think about different aspects of the body. But when I think of the body, I think about the teaching symbol. I know that at one point, we thought of the body as the manifestation. When we think of the teaching symbol, we think of that first part as first cause, divine mind, and the middle part as the soul. And then finally, sometimes we say in that final part, that is the body. That is the body. Nothing is outside of the one. Nothing is outside of the one. So the body is indeed spiritual. The body is indeed a manifestation and a physical form of the one. It's like Ernest Holmes said in Living the Science of Mind. And what he said was, he said, we do not deny the physical universe. We affirm that it is mind in form. The physical body exists that the soul may function on this plane. The body is not an unreality, quite the reverse. It is divine and perfect reality when rightly understood. And so today, the spiritual truth that I'm working with is that what we believe is we believe in the individualization of the spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. We are expressed in physical form through and by our bodies. And that means everyone's body, including mine, including yours, including everyone you know, it is a manifestation of the divine. And that all bodies are good bodies. And we reiterate that all bodies are whole, perfect, and complete, just as they are. Now that's easy to say, but it might not be easy to accept. To truly have this self-love, I mean, radical self-love for the body. You know, I know that it is a physical manifestation, and that the mind, that there is a strong mind-body connection, and that the mind can somehow, in many instances, can help control the body. So there are demonstrations of this everywhere, like your colleague that lost 40 pounds during the pandemic, or an Olympic athlete who pushes the limits of what we believe are humanly possible. Or perhaps you think even further out, the Tibetan monks that levitate their bodies through the power of the mind. You know, we just had on the Capitol Mall a couple of weekends ago, the strongest man competition. So weightlifters and bodybuilders, all of these sort of stretching the body. So my first point is the body is an effect. It's a manifestation. It's to be shaped. It's to be loved. It's to be marveled at. And each and every person is a divine emanation of that one. It's like Wayne Dyer said in his books, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And the body is a tool for us to use as a point of spiritual connection. And it can deepen our spiritual understanding as we connect and focus on it. And when you do that, your life changes. When you treat your body in that way as a spiritual tool, your life can change. So each and everybody is perfect just as we are. But, you know, society would have us think that we're not perfect. You know, media has bombarded us from early age, things that just get deep buried into our subconscious mind. You know, marketing wants us to disregard our gray hairs. They want us to pinch our belly fat and examine it. They have perceptions of us, these outside messages, that if we don't live up to a certain standard of how the body is supposed to look or seem, then we are taught that maybe we aren't worthy. So right now, you know, if you're in this body is whole, it's perfect, it's complete, and it is worthy. Our American culture puts an emphasis on youth. It puts an emphasis on youthful bodies. It also idealizes European beauty standards, hair texture, nose, eye. It might like you if you're a man and you have hair on your chest or no hair on your chest. But all of this can lead to all of these messages from the outside, from media, from marketing, from everything. All of these messages can lead us to have a very negative relationship with our physical bodies. And it can take some time to undo those messages. But slowly, slowly, the consciousness is rising. I hear songs now about beautiful and scars for beautiful, and slowly, slowly, this next generation is putting out song after song that is talking about that inner beauty that everyone has and the beauty of the body, no matter what its shape. You know, back in the mid 2000s, in say 2015, 2016, I worked with Sacramento School District, and at that time they held an annual conference for middle school girls. And I wanted to challenge those standards of beauty. I wanted to address the issues of body image. So I gave a workshop that I entitled, Are You Beautiful in Bolivia? And I showed slides of different cultural beauty standards, just to plant that seed that maybe there's no one right way to be beautiful, that we can find beauty in every face, and that we can see the divine presence in everyone we meet, that there are no comparisons. There is as much beauty in blonde hair and blue eyes, as well as black, kinky, curly hair and big brown eyes. Our challenge with the body is to hold each one in reverence and to see the divinity in that person. So, you know, each one of my Sunday talks, I usually write it to a theme song. I don't usually share that, but usually when I'm writing, I'd like play a certain song over and over again. And I'm a child of the 1980s. So this week, the song that I played was I Sing the Body Electric from Fame, the original movie with Irene Cara. It was inspired by a Walt Whitman poem. Now, I'm not going to quote the Walt Whitman poem, but the original 1855 edition of Leaves of Grass, Walt Whitman writes about various components of the body and concludes that these are a part of the soul, since the soul and the body are one. And believe it or not, his poem is far too sensuous for a Sunday morning. But from the song Fame, we simply celebrate the idea, and it uses the title of that poem as its first line. So the song goes, I sing the body electric. I celebrate the me yet to come. I toast to my own reunion when I become one with the sun. And I look back on Venus and I look back on Mars, and I'll burn with the fire of 10 million stars. And in time, we will all be stars. For this song celebrates the physical, knowing that we are indeed eternal beings, and that there is one representation, one energy back behind all, and that we are a physical manifestation of that one. I just want to make another point, that our bodies are infused with divine intelligence, and your body is always for you. It's never against you. So first, I want you to know that you're whole, perfect, and complete right now, and that you are a divine emanation of God. And second, I want you to know that your body is infused with divine intelligence. And even though circumstances may appear that it looks like your body is against you, your body is never against you. It's always for you, because the divine life, the divine is about life. It's about expanding life. It's not about death. It's not about dying. Then it will be against itself. It is about life. And life is a celebration. And as we know life in this physical body, that is how we celebrate it now as we raise our consciousness and attention to it. So divine intelligence is so wise that we don't have to remember how to breathe. We don't have to think about our heart to beat, for our heart to beat. Our body has within it the intelligence of how to heal. If you have a paper cut or a stubbed toe, our bodies are amazing. Ernest Holmes reminds us that the body expresses its intelligence, and its inherent intelligence being lit by the consciousness which permeates it, and that consciousness is the consciousness of the one. So we know fully that there is a connection. Science has shown us that there is a mind-body connection. It's been well documented, although I believe there's still a lot of mystery in it. I suggest that perhaps you've made a demonstration for yourself, proving that there is indeed a mind-body connection. Maybe when you've had a stress headache and you don't take medication, but you meditate, or you change your thought, or you go into complete relaxation and the headache disappears. You know that there's a mind-body connection because if you've ever had to control your bladder until there was a convenient time to release it, you know that it's a divine connection, and it can happen. But our body also provides us with spiritual growth if we listen to the wisdom of the body. And since the body is an effect, Louise Hay offered to the world this book. She offered to the world this book, You Can Heal Your Life. And she found that certain ailments are linked to definite mental attitudes. So whether they're conscious or unconscious, we find that if we have a knee problem, Louise Health says, perhaps it's your stubborn ego and pride, or an inability to bend. There's a new thought pattern underneath that knee issue that maybe we need to focus on forgiveness, understanding, and compassion. And Louise Hay offers one of our spiritual tools in order to strengthen that mind-body connection and to release and to help the body to reveal its healing. And she says, if you've got a knee problem, just simply repeat to yourself, I bend and flow with ease and all is well. Science of mind teaches us that healing is revealed, but we also believe in the use of medical intervention as a divine instrument of healing. Ernest Holmes says, since we can't walk on water, we might as well take a boat. Or if there's something wrong with our body, we can take an aspirin. But you're at choice to listen to your body or not. And if you don't listen to your body, it can literally put you on your back. So the demonstration I have had, is my very life that I am standing before you today. Last June, this very month, a year ago, I was very ill and I was ignoring it. I was thinking I was having an asthma attack. So I went and got that asthma attack treated. Then when it didn't quite go away and I still had difficulty walking and breathing, doctors thought maybe it's my heart. But I tell you what, it took them longer to link me up to the stress test than I stayed on that machine. And I couldn't walk from the testing area back to the parking lot without sitting down. So when I tell you today that I walk easily 2 miles, or I move up and down my stairs without losing my breath, if you don't know the journey I've taken, you might judge that. You might say, oh, that's nothing. You might say, oh, that's easy. But for me last year, it wasn't easy. I was forced to be in my body, to embody my body. And I've learned that it's not a good idea to judge people or their physical ideas because you don't know the road that they have challenged to perhaps accomplish just a simple thing like talking without gasping or singing to the top of your lungs, just because you can. So I'll just tell you a little bit about this story. So for me, after fainting, divine intelligence told me just to sit still, just to sit still. But it took me 3 days to get to the ER. Why? Because I'm a strong Black woman, so I'm going to power through. But my intuition kept telling myself, it said, you just need to be still. And Sheila McEwen on 12 Steps to Healing, she is a minister at the from Johnny Coleman's church, from the Universal Center of Truth for Better Living, and she's currently in Kingston, Jamaica. She talks about the importance of rest and that wonderful thing, be still and know that I am God. And in one of her chapters around healing, she says, it's in the silence that our body repairs itself. It's in the stillness that our body repairs itself. And that was my intuition. That was the divine voice that said, just sit still, just be still for a little while. So I was still for about 3 days. And then my body said, I have whispered to you, I have knocked on the door, and now I'm going to put you on your back. Literally, pain shot up through my back in such a way that I couldn't walk. I couldn't hardly move. So I finally went to the ER and dropped that I'm a strong woman scenario. And they found out it was a saddle pulmonary embolism, blood clots in both my lungs, and it was doing damage to my heart. My body was not trying to kill me, no, not as you may think, but infinite intelligence was actually trying to heal itself. Infinite intelligence was working hard to divert the blood, to keep me alive, to keep my breath flowing through my body, but it needed some medical support. I came to the emergency room not a moment too soon, and my condition was identified very shortly after the doctor saw me, and up I went to the ICU. I had an echocardiogram, and hours later, I had an emergency, a major surgery. So 3 weeks ago, Supreme Intelligence had me come to do a 1-year echocardiogram review. I didn't want to relive the trauma, so I didn't go back to the doctor. I chose a different hospital, a different place, a different everything. But God has a funny sense of humor, because I had the same echocardio technician that I had when I first came into that different hospital a year ago on another side of town. He had just transferred to this new place, and we recognized each other. And he gave me another echocardiogram, and we saw that the damage was reversed, and we did a happy dance. And I told him about the positive energy that he had brought into my hospital room. I said, no, honey, I can't identify you in a lineup, but I know the feeling of your essence and your presence, and it was calming and it was soothing, and you are walking divine. And he says, you know, miss, I don't get to see very many people the second time with what you had. They usually don't survive. But when they do, they thrive. And here I am today, I'm thriving. I'm celebrating the body. I'm celebrating this miraculous thing called life, knowing that my mind and my body are connected. And I know for a fact, and I'm sure you do, that your mind will protect you. My mind protected me a year ago. Medical staff would come in and out of my room, and they would always say, you know, you want to see a chaplain or a minister? And I'm thinking, well, I got 3 or 4. If I need one, I'll let you know. I mean, there's people I can call. I wasn't thinking I needed that. I wasn't thinking it was such a life-threatening situation. And the other thing I want you to know is I don't think that if you have an illness, a serious illness, or that you are indeed bringing it onto yourself by some error thought. No, no. Especially for me, my body had a reaction to a drug. It was a very rare case. But I do believe that infinite intelligence was working through me. And I do know that I have learned from this situation. I know many of you have probably had your own brushes with mortality. And you know it's a wake-up call, maybe somehow to change your life. Not just for me, it was not just to live in my mind, but to change it in some other way. We know that when the alignment, when mind, body, and soul are aligned, that is when life is lived to its fullest. So for me, the wake-up call was to love the physicality of life, to listen to the wisdom of the body, to treat the body as a temple, to honor the vessel that it is that helps you experience life. So there's a wisdom in the body. And in order to live in harmony with our body, we must listen to it. We must celebrate it and not judge it. We truly can do the body by honoring it, by nurturing it, by taking care of our physical being. That's a good spiritual practice. Self-love. And to drop those judgments about the body. For 9 months, I lived in South Korea. And one of the things that they do is they actually have these community baths. And it's an amazing, amazing experience where the floor is warm, and you can go in all these different rooms, and there's different temperatures, and there's different this. If you're in the baths, they're separated, so sometimes they're female baths, and all the females, they're all naked. Nobody cares. Nobody is ashamed of their body. They are proud of their scars and their shapes, because it says that they're mothers, that they're older, that they're wiser. They take in a love of that. And I had no problem with my body and expressing my body and being there with them in those baths, experiencing that. That was beautiful. Our American culture needs to just sort of drop some of it. And if you can just stretch yourself and drop some of those ideas and come to that self-acceptance and come to that love. So this week, I invite you to deepen your awareness, to deepen your connection with your body, to contemplate that your body is perfect just the way it is, that it is a divine tool, that it is a vibration that is in flow with source. Deepen your awareness by noticing what you're feeling in different parts of your body. Have conversations with your feet as you walk, or just notice your breath. You know, for me, in taking on this challenge of bringing the physical body into my awareness, Bobby Bode's daughter, Tisa, is having a workshop called the Elemental Energy Reset, Breath and Body. That spoke to me loud and clear, because it's breath and body. That was my deep lesson. So I am going to deepen my connection and celebrate my body and celebrate my breath by attending this workshop. It's still open and you can attend it too. Elemental Energy Reset. So I just want to reiterate that you're whole and you're perfect and you're complete right now, because you are a divine representation of the one. Your body, each cell, has the pattern of the divine intelligence within it. And it's up to us to listen to our body, to nurture our body, to give it love. So doing the body really is treating the body as the divine temple that it is. And as you increase your awareness of that body, you can deepen your spiritual understanding and connection with the divine. And so it is. Let's take this message into prayer. And so I'm just recognizing the one. I'm recognizing that one power and that one presence, that one breath that breathes me, that breathes each and every person here. And I just speak my word. I speak my word that as I tune into the physicality, as I enjoy the physical spaces of the universe, as I celebrate my fingers and toes and celebrate each and every part of the body, that my spiritual knowledge and understanding grows. And as that is true for me, it is true for each and every person here. And so I am just grateful. I am grateful for the breath. I am grateful for the ability, the awareness, the connection. I am grateful that this body is one that is a part of a whole entire ecosystem. So grateful and so thankful to be that divine representation, that manifestation right here on earth. I know that that is all that is true. And so I know that it is all me walking and talking in love. And as it's true for me, it's true for each of us. And so I'm simply going to release this word into the law, knowing that it is done. And together we say, so it is.